Welcome back, guys, to another episode of The Why of It All. We are so excited today because we have a special guest with us. And I just want to read a little bit about him before we bring him on, just so that you guys can kind of get to know his story just a little bit. But I'd love to introduce you to Will Person. He's a former 9-year Team USA bobsledder who is all too familiar with the silent suffering of brain trauma. After his own battle with severe depression, confusion, and losing touch with reality, from chronic traumatic encephalopathy like symptoms, it was hyperbaric oxygen therapy that began to restore his life. William's journey from feeling hopeless to literally seeing color return to his world led him to a new mission: making transformative treatments like HBOT accessible for others trapped in the same darkness. William is building a nonprofit CTE recovery center where athletes and military veterans could receive hyperbaric oxygen therapy and care at no charge. He's a passionate advocate warning others about the real toll of repeated brain injury and is eager to share his hard-earned wisdom, actionable hope, and call for public support with audiences seeking genuine healing and purpose.
All right,
Yes.
let's bring him on. Hello, William.
Hey,
Welcome.
thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it for having me. Yeah.
I'm really excited about this
Mm.
interview because both the condition, chronic traumatic encephalopathy, and the treatment, the hyperbaric oxygen therapy, are things that I don't know a whole lot about.
Yeah.
And I'm someone who my background is in natural and alternative medicine, and I like to think that I know about a lot of these conditions and alternative therapies, and these are two that are relatively new
Wow.
to me. So
Yeah.
I'm really excited to learn more about these from you, and then of course
Mhm.
diving into your whole story.
Yeah.
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 Well, I'm looking
So where
forward
do
to
you want to?
sharing. Yeah. Well, yeah. Where do we
Yeah.
start at? Where do we start? Yeah.
I mean, let's start at the beginning. Even just chatting before we brought you on and we're recording, I didn't know you were a fast runner. Did you become athletic like in high school? Was it pre-high school? When did you realize you had a talent for being really, really fast? When did,
All right, I have a story for you, but I'm
tell
not
us.
saying this out. It sounds arrogant, but it's not meant to be that way. I
We
knew
won't take
since
it
I
that
was
way.
Yeah.
six years old. I knew.
6.
Yeah,
How?
my dad one day he was like, hey, get in the car. I was like, what? He said, get your shoes. It's like, what? I didn't train, work out, or anything. So next thing you know, we had this track meet. It was at Florissant Valley Community College in St. Louis, and
Uh-huh.
next thing I know, all these kids were lined up to run a 50-yard dash, and I'm lined
Okay.
up next to them. And so when runners the person who starts it, he says, "Runners, take your mark." I'm looking around, I don't know what's going on. He's like, "Get set." I'm still playing, like looking at flies. I don't know what I was looking at. So when they shot the gun, everybody took off running except me. And I said, "Oh, okay, I know what to do now." And then I started running, and I caught everybody except
Oh
one
my
guy. One guy
gosh.
beat me. So then my dad was like, "He's gonna be my track star." And the truth
Mm.
was, he actually wound up burning me out because he started waking me up. And like it'd be like it's just like 2 feet of snow on the ground. He wants me to go outside and run around the block in the snow with boots on. Like what? Why would I do that? It took the fun out
Really?
of it. But yeah,
Oh
I've
yeah.
always But when I turned 11, like I went back. I wanted to run so bad. I found my own track team, and I found out where they practice at. I walked to practice every day, trained, and then walked home. Like that's how much I really wanted to do it. So, but I've known since I
Wow.
was about 6 years old. Like, yeah,
Yeah. So you've since early days you've been an athlete. Were you
yeah,
I don't know what the words are, long distance or more of a sprinter?
sprinter and jumper.
Uh-huh.
Sprinter
I
and
was a long
jumper.
jumper. Yeah, yeah. But
Oh.
actually, I was really a sickly kid though. I was born with asthma and pneumonia and stuff like that. Like doctors originally told me no sports. Like it was like, I wasn't
Well,
allowed to participate.
I was gonna say, because like runners, like I would think asthma and running do not mix, right?
Yeah, I think it might have saved my life because I was always in the hospital when I was a kid. Like, I mean,
Really?
always. Like, I used to miss
Really?
like a third of the school year because of just
Did
absences.
I think that's fascinating that you had all this sickness as a child, and then especially asthma, which again to me would be a hazard for a runner, and then you end up being one of the fastest guys, uh, you know,
Yeah,
ever. That's just pretty remarkable.
Yeah.
yeah. It's definitely been a blessing. Like I I was very
Yes.
blessed to, because actually, as soon as I started working out and competing, it's like I just knocked that asthma right out of my system, I believe. I don't really know the truth, but yeah,
You ran it out. You ran it out of your
yeah,
body. You
yeah,
literally
pretty.
strengthened your lungs. Really?
Yeah, I don't ever remember having an issue with it either. So that's the
Wow.
weird part. Like, yeah, no, matter of fact, as I got older, never, I stopped getting sick. I never got sick anymore. So it was just, yeah, man.
Wow.
Now that you say it, like, I never thought about that, but yeah, it's been crazy.
Yeah.
And so I competed from time I was 11. My last bobsled race, I was 36. When I won my last national championship was January 2007. I competed from 11 to 37. So
Wow.
it was,
Wow.
And
yeah, long time.
tell us about going from running
Yeah.
to bobsledding. How did that happen?
Yeah.
And maybe a very tiny little bit about what is bobsledding, because like the only reference points I have for bobsledding is Cool Runnings.
That's
That's it.
about as that's about as much as you're gonna get. Like you do the
Okay.
research. Like it's a yeah. Matter of fact, even when I was competing, all of my uniforms red, white, blues, American flags over, and if people knew I was on a bobsled team, they automatically asked me if I was Jamaican. Like, no,
Oh,
look at the flags everywhere. What do you mean?
Yeah.
how funny.
But those
Interesting.
guys are really awesome people. Like when my mom passed in 2018, they were the first ones to call me to check on me. And so
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
wonderful.
I love
yeah. I really
that.
Yeah.
appreciate those guys. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So,
how did you get there? Like going
hmm
from being a sprinter
hmm
to being
Yeah.
a Team USA bobsledder.
Well, my daughters, um, when me and their mom split, they moved back to Utah. So I didn't want to spend much time away from my daughters, so I moved back to Utah. So I was training at Brigham Young University right before the 2002 Winter Olympics.
Okay.
So NBC was actually doing tryouts, and my phone kept ringing that week for me to come try out, and I didn't really want to do it because it looked just kind of dangerous.
hmm
But it was my
hmm
last year of track, and at that time I actually owned a youth treatment facility. It was the first of its kind. As a matter of fact, the state opened me as a pilot program because it was something it was new and innovative. It wasn't something they hadn't seen before. So man, my hands were tied. I was busy, busy, busy. But when opportunity came, I went for this tryout, and I guess I set a new record on that tryout, and the rest is history.
Wow.
Like I wound up spending about 9 years racing after that.
Wow.
And did
Yeah.
you instantly fell in love with it with bobsledding?
You know what? I did because it was different. Like with track and field, I was like 4% body fat. I was 100 and like 84 pounds. I was,
Mm-hmm.
you're always conscious of what you eat, and as a bobsledder, man, I could eat all day long and just lift weights and just
Could you
like,
really?
yeah, I raced at 218, so I had a lot more weight on me and muscle. So yeah, it
Uh-huh.
was, it was a huge difference. And yeah, I didn't feel like I didn't, even though you still huge discipline. You got to be very disciplined to do this sport or
Oh,
any
I
sport. But
can't imagine.
it was a different. Like track and field was like it's like when it's like trying to go learn calculus if you've never taken basic math. Compared
Mm-hmm.
Right.
to bobsledding was just like no, it's just one plus one. It was just very simple.
My next question really for that is like, what did your days look like? Like you trained for what, 11 to what, how, 37, 36?
Yeah, 36 was I was
Yeah.
36. I turned 37 later that year. So
So what do your days look like? Because I'm thinking of like what my days look like,
Yeah,
like
like as an Olympic athlete.
I lay down at 7 o'clock and watch TV and then like eat my
exactly.
popcorn and like chill and how rigorous did your day-to-day schedule look like when you were at this high performance athlete status?
Well, Olympic sports really doesn't. They don't really pay much money at all, if any money. So for most athletes, we're actually working regular jobs as well. So for
Oh,
me,
wow.
Wow.
yeah. So I have my regular work schedule, and then so if I'm working, let's say 9 to 5, now I have to find like about 6 more hours to get my track workouts and my weightlifting in. So exactly where I find those at is just gonna depend. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Um, like I remember when I lived in Phoenix, and like sometimes during the winter, summertimes it was 120 degrees, which means 130 on the track. So
Oh,
I
Yeah.
might
sure.
sneak into the Arizona Stadium. I go have to climb the gate before it even opens. So I might be training at 3 or 4 in the morning just to make sure I can get
Wow.
that workout in order to
Wow.
go back home, get cleaned up, and then go back to go to work. So
Mm,
and so yeah, that's just really the journey of the American athlete.
That's
interesting.
wild. So intense days, very
Hmm.
intense days,
Yeah.
intense training, probably, a lot of pressure. Do you want to walk us through the injuries and
Hmm.
all of that? Like,
Hmm.
how did these injuries come about? Is it just
Hmm.
a product of just the sport of bobsledding in general?
Hmm.
Tell us more about that.
Well, the current biggest issues are the concussion issues,
Hmm.
and what I learned now, it's not just concussions; it's the G-force exposure.
Hmm.
Yeah, because there
Hmm.
are some people who never crashed, and they have the same issues as me.
Mm.
And so there's
Oh.
also a lot of huge vibrations on that track. So it's equivalent to like the shaken baby syndrome. And so between
Oh,
that,
whoa.
the G
Wow.
forces, yeah, matter of fact, an article came out last December. It was about the our military fighter pilots,
Hmm.
and they were struggling with all the same symptoms that the bobsledders have, which is all the same symptoms that the NFL players have. That you've seen the NFL
Hmm.
players who've been like committing murder and killing themselves,
Oh, yes.
and
Yeah.
it's also the same condition that our military is coming back with. And it's like no one's really paying attention here. And I'm thinking, like, well,
Yeah.
wait a minute. Yeah, because our
Hmm.
military, I found out they were getting diagnosed with PTSD. And
Right.
then when they check their brains, they find out they have CTE.
Yeah.
Because you
CTE
can
is
see
a,
the
Mm-hmm.
damage. You can
Yeah.
see the
oh,
damage, right?
yeah. Yeah, I can
Mm-hmm.
see it now.
Hmm.
I know what I'm looking at now. Like I can see it all
Hmm.
day, every day in most people. If you give me a 5, 10 minute conversation with you, I'll smell it out.
Hmm.
Mm.
Or I might even
Hmm.
see it in your eyes. It's
Hmm.
there's a certain darkness that's in the eyes when you're there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you describe for the audience
Hmm.
chronic traumatic encephalopathy? What exactly is that in the brain?
Well, I know what they say it is. They say it's from repeated head injuries.
Hmm.
But I don't really know if that's exactly the truth or not because I've met people
Hmm.
along the journey, like the housewife who fell down and she hit her head one time, and she still has the symptoms as everyone else.
Hmm.
And so I'm not saying that she would be diagnosed with CTE when she passes, but
Hmm.
the treatment is the same. The treatment is the same,
Okay.
which is the
Hmm.
scary part. Like you mentioned injuries, right? At
Hmm.
one point, and the crazy part, like for every injury you ever get as an athlete, let's just break it down to a muscle, because usually it's muscle injuries. What happens is most of the time you have this fluid that just rushes to that area, and it does it so it protects that part from being more from having more injuries. So it
Right.
sends all the fluid there. So that's what I always was told. So once the fluid gets there, for the first 72 hours, they give us an ice pack to put on there, and we compress it to push the swelling out. And then after the 72 hours, then we'll alternate heat and ice, and then we'll switch over to what they call electric stimulation, which is a machine that makes the muscles just kind of contract and restrict it on their own.
Hmm.
And after that, they'll get you down to the ultrasound, which warms the belly of the muscle. And then
Mm-hmm.
when you get done, you got a piece of scar tissue in there or some knots in there, and they have to get that out. And the only way to
Hmm.
get that out is at the Olympic Training Center. This lady comes out. She's got this white rag. And when we see it, we're automatically, oh, no, not today. And that white rag is for us to bite because
Oh,
she's going to take her elbow and she's going to
and
dig
get.
across that. Yeah, she's going to cross friction that scar tissue and break it up. Because
Mm.
if you don't break it up, it's just the muscle's going to heal up shorter and you're going to keep re injuring that little area.
Mm.
Mm.
Okay, now let's switch it over to concussions.
Yeah.
When anybody I know who ever had a concussion, the only treatment we were told for me or anybody ever heard was just don't go to sleep for the first few hours.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the only treatment. So
Hmm.
if that fluid all rushed there to protect the brain, how did we get
Hmm.
it out? We were not
Mm.
getting it out of there.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I believe
Hmm.
that's what the woman thing I know for a fact. That's what this chamber must be doing for me.
Mm.
Because
Mm.
I was cloudy for 10 whole years.
Mm.
And I was in that chamber for 1 hour and it changed my life. It's
Wow.
yeah, I was definitely in
Fast.
Yeah.
dementia. at that point. Yeah.
Well, and I want to go into the details of specifically the hyperbaric oxygen treatments itself.
Mm-hmm.
But can you tell us a little bit more about the symptoms?
Yes.
The symptoms that you were experiencing and any other symptoms you know of that other people with the same condition have experienced.
Like, when did you know, was it after your professional career was finished, or was it during training that you started noticing whatever symptoms you're going to describe?
Well, I noticed some of the symptoms early.
Mm-hmm.
After like my first bobsled crash was in 2002, right before opening ceremonies was my first crash, and so I had a really bad one. Like I had vertigo for like a week. The guy in the sled with me was knocked unconscious,
Mm.
and so
Mm.
my original symptoms were subtle. Like I would wake up in the middle of the night and I didn't know where I was at sometimes. So I would panic. I had these little panic
Wow.
attacks, which was weird. I never had anxiety or stress or anything, related to anything like that. So I would have to jump up, turn the lights on, and just look around. And I always say the pictures on the walls would let me know where I was at.
Mm.
Like in Europe, they always have the old creepy pictures where the eyes follow you, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, like in the old Three Stooges TV shows or something like that,
Yeah.
and then like here in like at the Olympic Training Center, if I see painted white bricks, I know I'm at the Olympic Training Center. So it
Yeah.
always just calmed me down. But I didn't know that I was having problems. Like I just thought that,
Mm.
well, I rationalized it. I said, you know what? I represent my country. I travel a lot. I have such a great life, and
Mhm.
that's why I don't know where I'm at. But that wasn't the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And I guess one of the eye-opening ones, and I still didn't really connect it properly.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to see some friends I hadn't seen in a while, and we went to shoot pool.
Mm-hmm.
And then my buddy was like, "Hey, there's your ex-girlfriend over there." And I looked at the girl. I was like, "Well, she's pretty, but I don't know her." And then she ran over and she jumped in my arms, and I went, "Oh, I guess I do know her." And I just once
Wow.
again rationalized. I meet so many people,
You didn't
and
recognize her.
I didn't recognize her. And we had dated for a while, and I just didn't recognize her face. And that's
That's
just something
scary.
that went along with me for many years. Like whenever I meet people, I always say, "How are you doing?" I never say names because I'm pretty sure I don't really know your name.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really bad at that.
Mm.
Yeah, it's better now that I've been like going through the treatment stuff, but still, there's still some. You know, for a long time, I just couldn't do it. Yeah,
Wow. So definitely some confusion.
Mm-hmm.
I heard you say cloudy, so brain fog
yeah.
Brain
in
fog.
general. Anything else?
Well, the when it got to the worst part of it, I had these random days of cloudiness or brain fog, if you want to call it. Like it was random, and it slowly changed on me. It went from random days of that cloudiness to just random days of clarity. It's totally switched over, and it was so slow. I never saw it coming. And this whole time, I'm thinking I have diabetes because it looks like someone with low blood sugar, like no energy, can't get up.
Mm.
Mm.
Now I'm living off of things I never taken before, like coffee, black coffee, and Coca Cola. Like
Mm.
I'm living off of that stuff because I can't get out of the bed without it.
Wow.
But
Mm.
but also I knew once I did wake up, I already knew I didn't really know the real day. I always mix my days up, and so I
Wow.
had a little book. So as soon as I wake up, I look at my book. It tells me what the day is. Then I got to figure out what month it is. And I always thought it was January or August. And so it's the same thing every day. I know I don't know the days, so it was just like that movie Groundhog's Day. It was
Yeah, I was
brutal.
just thinking
Yeah,
that.
Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. And so were you still in these performance sports at this time, or had you already retired by now? Because you're saying you could barely get out of bed, requiring caffeine to even function. I can't
Yeah.
imagine that you were training for 6 hours a day at this point.
No, I had left the sport by that time when all those
Mm.
symptoms kicked in. But the first ones
Okay.
were me not recognizing people, and like that
Wow.
kicked in when I was still
Mm.
competing. Matter of
Wow.
fact, after my first symptoms that I remember, I probably competed for another 4 or 5 years. I'm assuming
Okay.
Mm.
maybe six. So yeah, I was definitely doing more and more damage.
And so, Will, what made you get to the point where you're like, I got to figure out what's wrong with me? Like, how did you come to that? Like, was there a moment that you remember where you're like, I've got to get some help?
Well, I thought I was getting help when I was going to see my doctor so they can give me this diabetes diagnosis. Give me my
Hmm.
insulin so I can move on with my life.
Right.
and they just kept telling me you don't have it, But
Mm.
I, this is the crazy part. People told me that I told them that I think bobsledding did something to my brain.
Hmm.
And these people don't even know each other. They all shared this with me years later, and I don't remember telling them that. I remember one of the situations I went to see a friend of mine, and a migraine kicked in, and
Mm.
I went back in their room, and I slept for like 3 days, and
Mm.
so yeah, it was always that type of thing. But like this thing is really it's progressive, it's slow, and it's
Mm-hmm.
unforgiving. So a lot of the
Mm.
symptoms look like a lot of other things in life. So
Yeah,
it's really so easy to be misdiagnosed. That's the biggest thing with this. It's
Yeah.
misdiagnosed.
I'm sure.
Um, yeah,
I'm
matter of fact,
sure.
if you look at the veterans, they're coming back with PTSD. Then when they check their brain, they find out they had CTE,
Yeah.
which
Oh.
is very
Wow.
disturbing. Yeah, it's very
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
disturbing.
We've interviewed a veteran who
Mm-hmm.
that was something that was profound for him, was learning about how it does cause changes in the brain, what they're going through over there,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Um,
yeah,
yeah.
No, they've done
yeah,
studies, and
Hmm.
once he finally saw the studies and saw the brain matter change, I mean, he was like, "This is legit."
Yeah.
And his healing journey is ibogaine. He did a whole different journey,
I
and
did
he's had
Ibogaine.
some.
Okay,
He did
Hmm.
ibogaine. He just went back for a second treatment. He just got back like a month ago, and we interviewed him right after so we could hear. But I mean, it was a miracle for him.
Yeah.
And he served in what,
He
three
did
deployments?
three tours in the Middle East.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But he went through some seriously traumatic stuff.
Yep.
So
He-
go ahead.
No, I was going to say because he had panic attacks too. Remember?
Yeah.
Did he
Hmm.
mentioned the panic attacks,
Hmm.
cloudiness,
Yeah.
and depression?
And that was going to be my next question for you,
Mm-hmm.
Will. Is like, obviously you're having cognitive impairment
Mm-hmm.
this whole
yes,
time, and things are deteriorating, and the symptoms are beginning to get slowly worse over time. Were you experiencing emotional stuff as well? Like,
Mm.
you mentioned panic attacks. Were you having generalized anxiety, depression? I mean, as your health is deteriorating, surely you were like,
yeah.
it was causing stress for you. But what was the emotional aspect of that like?
Well, even though my teammates, some of them had started committing suicide, and the
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
truth is, I wanted to as well. I really did. I didn't want to be
You
here
did.
anymore. Yeah, and so
Mm-hmm.
what but I was a counselor. Like when I first left college, I worked at a place in Stockton, California. It was the first mental health facility that was west of the Mississippi River. So all extreme behaviors came there for help. And so I cut my teeth learning about all the disorders. And like I knew something was wrong, but I just think it's so unforgiving. Like you really can't connect these dots sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And
wow.
Oh,
like I
sure.
was just so yeah, but what I did do, even though I didn't take my life, I was praying for God to come get me every day. Like that was my
Mm,
routine. Like just please, like
Mm.
why would I have to do another day like today? And
Mm.
mm,
and I knew what the trauma is to leave that. If I took my life, I'm gonna leave that trauma for my children and my grandkids and my family.
mm.
And
Yeah.
I'm close to my family, and so I didn't want to leave that for them. So I made
Mm-hmm.
a deal with God, like, listen, I can't do that, but you can do that. And so please hurry up and make
Wow.
that happen, please. Well, I was on that level of talking with him at that point. Like
Wow.
maybe if I
So,
pissed him off enough, he'll just really just send me where I need to go. Get
If
me
he's
to that
ready for
next.
you to just leave him alone and quit asking,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
how did
yeah.
you learn about hyperbaric oxygen therapy?
Are you guys familiar with Joe Namath?
I know the
Oh,
name.
yes. A football
Yes,
player.
yeah. I was
Yes,
about to
Joe
say he's
Yeah,
a
Namath.
sports ball of some kind,
Yeah,
right?
sports
yeah.
ball.
Well,
Football player.
far as I'm concerned, he is the football player because that guy
Oh,
saved my
Joe
life.
Namath.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Really?
he put out some videos saying he used hyperbaric oxygen to reverse his CTE symptoms. But you know
Okay.
what? He didn't leave details, and so like man, like so I just tried it blindly. I didn't think it was going to work because I was trying to treat these symptoms forever. Yeah, but yeah, Joe Namath, he's the one who put that information out.
Hey everybody, it's Melanie from The Why of It All. You guys already know Gina and I are passionate about healing mind, spirit, and body. And that's why we're proud to be sponsored by a brand whose passion for wellness runs as deep as ours, Tulip Blooms. Tulip Blooms is a family-owned American small business that handcrafts a variety of small batch premium skincare products, such as their original flagship product, Rainfall. Rainfall is a luxurious, lightweight face and body lotion made with soothing aloe vera and a powerhouse blend of cold-pressed botanical oils like jojoba, rosehip, and evening primrose. Rainfall is my go-to daily body lotion. I love that it's made with only the highest quality of pure, clean, natural ingredients. There's no synthetics at all, and it absorbs quickly, delivering lasting hydration without any greasiness. There are many scents to choose from, even unscented, but my favorite is rose geranium. Rainfall is gentle enough for the face, nourishing enough for the body, and the perfect daily go-to, especially after sun exposure when your skin craves extra care. Visit tulipblooms.shop and use our exclusive promo code HEAL, that's HEAL, at checkout for 10% off your order.
Was it hard to find a place in your local area to go get that done? I don't hear about it often. Like, where
Me
does
either.
one go for that?
Well, there's a few different kinds. There's the medical ones that you see in the hospitals. Those have a different level of clearance, just like a three atmospheres, which means it makes your body believe it's further underwater than it really is. Like
Hmm.
with the one I have behind me, it's a 1.3 atmospheres, which means it makes my body think it's like 7 to 9 feet underwater. So it turns my
Hmm.
blood into like a gas at that point. And
Yeah.
if the blood's like a gas, it can get through all the blockages. It's in the blood and oxygen everywhere in the body. So, like for example, if you have cancer, a lot of doctors now will send you into hyperbaric treatment for before chemo, during chemo, and after chemo, depending on which chemo you have. But there's one chemo, a couple of them that you can't take with hyperbaric because it'll be toxic for you.
Okay.
If you have uh, strokes, once again, it's a blockage issues. A lot of times they'll put you in those chambers and it'll send blood everywhere. It'll wake people up and rebound them from strokes.
Hmm.
So yeah, this thing
So
is. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry to cut you off.
So where did you get it done for the first time? Can you tell us about where you got it done? What kind of
Yeah.
setting was it? And then tell us about that first treatment and your first experience.
Yeah, it's funny you asked. I just found the video. I made a video when I was in there, and it was so dark, man. It was so like it was heavy. It was like this. I was saying stuff in there like, "This is my last thing for me to try. There's nothing else." And
Oh,
it was so
oh, you
heavy.
were at
But
last resort stage, really last resort
oh,
stage.
absolutely,
Mm.
absolutely. Yeah. So what I did is you can actually find them in communities. Just put HBOT near me.
Okay.
HBOT near me, and so
Oh,
you'll find the ones that are. You don't need the ones that are in the hospitals. They won't treat you. And only if you have great insurance, and your insurance is not going to pay for this thing.
Hmm.
right.
So you got to go to ones that's in the wellness centers or in the
Mm-hmm.
chiropractor's offices or things
Okay.
like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, I missed your last question there.
I want to know what that first treatment was like. Like
Okay.
you
Yeah.
climb it. Tell us about what it's like to be in there.
Yeah.
And then of course your
How
experience afterwards.
Okay.
and like how long are you in? Like how long do treatments last? Is it like 10 minutes, 30, an hour? What?
Well,
Yeah.
when I'm at home, I do 90 minutes inside my
90
chamber. But
minutes.
the first time I
Okay.
tried it, there was a place down
Yeah.
in Orange County, Oxy Health. They let me try it for free.
Okay.
The guy name was Hans. He was I guess he runs the showroom down there. He does a lot of stuff for those people. But he let me come down and I tried it. And I'm in this chamber for 1 hour. And when I
Okay.
come out, like my glasses are slightly tinted because I'm sensitive to lights.
Okay.
Uh,
And so, I didn't understand. Something was wrong. Something that didn't feel right because everything was so beautiful when I came out of that chamber. The colors were so extra vivid. It's like I was
Wow.
walking around inside a 3D movie. And so I guess
Really?
so I guess I probably haven't been seeing colors properly for a while. I'm not really sure about that, but and so I kept putting my glasses on and taking them off. And then that salesman, he came over to me and he asked me, he's like, "Hey, what's wrong?" I said, "I don't know. I don't think I need my glasses right now." And he was like, "Oh, you're one of those." And I was thinking, okay, he's finna try to sell me this machine right here. That's what,
Mm-hmm.
I just bought a house. And so, like I said, I don't have $25,000 laying around for this machine.
Right.
And so, but he told me some people get immediate relief and some people need like 30 days of 2 treatments a day.
Wow.
And
wow.
I happen to be the first one. And so, like, for me, it's been just a blessing. And yeah, so when I did that one the first time, my cloudiness was gone for 6 days. And
Okay. Just one
Wow.
treatment. One
one
treatment and it was
treatment.
gone for 6 days.
Yeah. And then when I went back the following week, at the end of that next week, my cloudiness was gone for like 9 days, and so then eventually I had to buy one. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Are the individual treatments at a practitioner's office, are they very expensive?
yeah, that's the problem with this. It's very
Okay.
expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say you're one of the people who need the 30 days of treatments, and you need two per day. Here in Los Angeles, they run you about $200 an hour. So you're going to
Mm,
Wow.
need
it's
four hundred
expensive.
dollars a day. So you're going to be looking at about $12,000 for the month.
Yeah.
And
Mm,
so, like, even people who know about this treatment, who know it'll help them, they don't do it because they know they can't afford it.
can't afford it.
Mm.
Yeah. So that's why I'm actually in the process of opening up a free wellness center for just this condition.
Yeah.
So, matter of fact, we're up and running. We're actually officially a non-for-profit now. So we're moving.
That's
Wow.
Yeah.
exciting. You want to tell us more about that?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like what I've been doing is like, see, Joe Namath didn't leave the details. So I created a TikTok channel, and it's called
Mm-hmm.
One Man with a Chamber. And I
Yep.
call it that because Joe Namath had a team of doctors when he went through his. And I just had myself. I'm one man. I tell people all the time, I'm one man with a chamber sharing my experience. So my social media is called One Man with a Chamber. You can always find me. And so I was just documenting and showing people what I'm going through, how I use it, the ups and downs. Like, it's not a perfect science, especially with me doing it myself
Mm-hmm.
at that time. And but now I kind of changed it a little bit. So now it's more like, now that I understand it and I know how much better that I'm doing. Like now I teach people how to live with CTE and
Mm-hmm.
not self destruct. But it's mainly for the loved ones of the, because just like myself and every other athlete that I know, like we can't see it on ourselves for some reason. It's very hard for us to
Hmm.
understand what we're dealing with. We don't,
Mm-hmm.
like, people can tell you, oh, you're messing up, you're doing this, and we just like, we're like, we don't know what you're talking about,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But yeah, that's the problem with this thing.
And I would imagine that there's a little bit of probably denial, of
For some people,
for some
yeah.
people, like, no, I'm fine, I'm strong, I'm agile, there's nothing like, could I really have brain damage? Could I really have permanent brain damage? And that's probably hard to probably accept. And so I bet a lot of people don't want to go down that road because that's a hard pill to swallow.
Mm.
I know it would be for me.
Well, in my case, like, I couldn't connect the dots that I had brain damage. I didn't even know I was depressed. I was praying for death, but I didn't
Yep.
know that I
Amen.
was in that arena. Like,
I just love that you're bringing such awareness to this for people that, don't have $12,000 a month, but yet they need it. This is a medical
yeah,
necessity for them at this point to live a fruitful and healthy life. And I just love that you have turned your hardships and pain and everything you've been through, and now you're trying to share this as a I mean, it warms my
Yeah.
heart that you are such an advocate and that you want to make this accessible to people that need it.
Hmm.
well, one thing that happened to me, one of my teammates, he wanted to be a writer. When I first left Team USA, I came straight to Hollywood and I was writing.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of my teammates knew me as, Hollywood stuff. They want to do stuff in Hollywood. They call me. If it was modeling or whatever. I'm a middleman. I help everybody with anything. You need help with something, let me know. I'll figure out a way to help you. And
Mm-hmm.
so one of my teammates was calling me with these great ideas about writing this movie. And it was some weird concept stuff, like I have things I've never seen before. And I was like, wow, this is such creative writing. So I thought. But the last time he called me, he was speaking gibberish. And
Oh.
so
Mm.
I just realized this like about 2 months ago. This would happen before COVID. Like
Mm-hmm.
stuff he was saying, he was already losing his mind. His mind had slipped already.
Mm-hmm.
And so last time he called me, he was speaking this gibberish. I didn't understand him. And because I used to own treatment facilities and I worked them, I, I knew to help this guy. I knew he needed some help. And I told
Yeah.
myself every day I got to help him. And the truth is, I didn't do anything. And eventually, I got the word back that he went to his family's factory and he hung himself. And yeah, and I took it personal. Like I felt like my hands were so dirty, and it just felt that way.
Mm.
And I had so much guilt, and that's how this
Same.
thing really first started. Was just trying to, I knew where I was at, I knew where he was at, and I knew I wasn't too far behind him. Like I couldn't wait to get out of this place.
Mm.
Especially when I saw my teammates leaving, it made it easier for me to want to leave. But when his autopsy report came out, we found out he was in stage 4. And so there was nothing I was going to be able to do to help him. That was number
Yeah.
one. And the other thing is, like, I was living on my own floor, crawling around my own apartment, and getting lost in my own community. I was in dementia. How the heck was I going to help this next person?
Mm-hmm.
And so it took for me to really kind of process all that, to understand and forgive myself, because like I couldn't help him because I needed help.
Right.
And then that's when I started advocating through the courts, trying to do it the right way, just to get everybody some help. And so we at least stop the suicides and get everybody whatever they need. Let's
Mm-hmm.
just make sure they have it. But
Mm-hmm.
actually, they still fighting me on that in court right now. And it's the most bizarre thing. I don't like the number one thing I ask for: warn the new generation before they ever get in that sled. And they won't do it. They're fighting me. This case could have been over with already. I would have folded a long time ago had they put that
Mm-hmm.
information out.
Mm-hmm.
But they won't do it. So I said, I'm going to keep fighting this
Mm-hmm.
until you expose yourself in court and let the world know what you're doing. You know this is happening
Mm.
to people. You're not putting anything
Mm-hmm.
in place. You know it's been happening for years. So how does that make you look as an Olympic team for our
Mm-hmm.
American
Yeah.
people? Like it makes you look pretty
Mm-hmm.
bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
so
so
that
that's
court case is it a class action?
I filed a class action. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
because like the truth is, like for me, I never asked for anything special for myself. I
Mm-hmm.
said,
Mm-hmm.
well, I told the guys, I told them just the same two things I just mentioned, like warn a new generation and give my guys some help. Because I
Yeah.
really thought I was going to be dead any day. I didn't think I would live to see the end of this case. Like
Mm-hmm.
2.5, 3 years ago, I was struggling to just form sentences and put my words together. And yeah, it was way before I found the hyperbarics. And so this whole campaign is about transparency, helping the new generation not get in this situation. Like, who
Yeah.
am I to know what's going on? And I'm gonna sit back and say nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah.
no, we're not gonna keep doing this to people.
You don't know what you don't know. And if all these young athletes, they need to know the
Mm-hmm.
risks involved.
Well, it's
Um,
not just the athletes now. It's that's where this thing gets really scary. And
Yeah.
please fact check me. Fact check me. Like
Mm-hmm.
everything I'm telling you guys
mm-hmm.
it's disturbing. Like
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
if okay, I'm gonna give you a quick question. Like, okay, 2020, 2021, 2022. Take a wide guess on how many veterans took their life in just one of those years. All the numbers are about
Oh
the
God.
same, though.
Oh
Oh,
yeah. I mean, I
I
know
would.
I
What?
don't know, tens of thousands or more.
Well, you're actually very, very close. It's reported that 6,400 veterans killed
60.
themselves in 2021. It was a little bit more in 2022
Mm,
and 2023, a little bit more. Every year it's a little bit more. But
Mm.
however, what they don't tell you is more, because what they don't take into effect is, let's say somebody overdoses from the military.
mm-hmm.
Even if you leave a suicide note, they don't count
Mm-hmm.
that as suicide. So there's
It's
another
because overdose.
Wow.
5,000 per year
Yeah.
that's dying
That are.
by that.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, so we're looking at about 10 to 11,000 American heroes, our veterans, that
Yeah.
are
Heroes.
taking their life every year. And so what I've learned is all the same symptoms as the NFL player, the hockey player, the
Mm-hmm.
bobsledder,
Mm-hmm.
everything is that's all the same. So it has to be all the same treatment. So
Mm-hmm.
what gets me now is like, I wonder how many of those people, if they had just gotten this chamber, it would have reversed their stuff for them, same as it did for me. Because I
Mm-hmm.
raced for 9 years, and no one could probably have more concussions than me. Because the sport that I know now, every time I went down that track, it was a good chance I was getting the micro concussions, which are the dangerous ones. The
Yeah.
big ones, the big concussions make me sit down and they don't let me. I can't get back in that sled for about a week because
Mm-hmm.
I'm just nauseous and throwing up or whatever.
Oh.
But when you get the micro concussions, it's doing the same damage, but your body's telling you, oh, you can keep going. It's not making
Right.
you sit down. And that's the
Right.
difference.
Well, I have a teenager that plays football, and after his third concussion, we've pretty much decided we're not doing that anymore, just for his health. And my question is it true that once you get a concussion, you're more susceptible to more concussions?
Oh, absolutely. That's what the
Oh,
science says. Yes.
okay.
Mm.
So once you have one, a bad one, then it just almost perpetuates, it sets you up. If you continue to play the sport, if you continue doing those activities, you're more susceptible.
Mm.
Yeah. And then also, I'm glad you're here today. Matter of fact. So, with your son that had the first concussion, what was his treatment?
He told me to stay out of bright lights,
Uh,
um, monitor him. Also, up his fish oil, like a multivitamin with like extra fish oil, I think, or
Okay.
omega.
Omega
But that
threes.
was
Yeah.
it. Yep. And but they have a very strict, in high school, very strict protocol. They won't let them back on the field unless they get cleared twice. But they never took any scans of his head,
Hmm.
anything. Just really asked him what's your symptoms, and he just said, foggy, disoriented a little bit, a little
Hmm.
blurry vision, but it went away within a couple of days. So
Yeah. So you just the whole thing. This whole podcast is about is what your son's going through,
Yeah.
and so it's no. So in other words, what you told me was he got no treatment. You
pretty
just said
much.
you just named off things they tell vampires: stay out the light. Don't eat the garlic. You know, and that's the
Yeah.
problem with this thing.
No
Like,
treatment.
Yeah.
there's no
No
treatment. As a
treatment.
matter of fact,
No,
when I did
just
the
rest.
there's
Now I want to get him into
yeah,
a hyperbaric
Find one, girl.
oxygen.
and you probably
So,
should because
Yeah.
you have to
yeah.
remove the inflammation from the brain,
Yes.
and that's what I
Yes.
believe. That's what my
Mm.
gut tells me.
I'm very foggy about this, but I feel like I remember there was either a documentary or some kind of movie, like a reenactment kind of movie that came out
Concussion.
at some point in the past that was about football industry specifically and the
Yeah.
whole like cover up about chronic concussions. So there was some exposure about that, but as far as I know, it was limited to just football. And what
Yeah.
you're saying is that there is a whole cover up happening with Team USA sports.
Mm-hmm.
The military is obviously
Mm-hmm.
not talking about this, not being transparent with these injuries that are happening to people in service.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. So this
Also, I
it's
got one
way
more for you.
bigger.
What?
About a month and a half ago, I had a really bad migraine, and ever since I've been clear as a bell. Like I'm back reading books again. It's like my brain is finally awake fully. I don't know how long it's gonna last, but I'm enjoying it while I can. So I've been doing a lot of reading. Don't take my word on this. Go back and look at the last 5 years of mass shooters. So I believe most of it is connected.
Hmm.
Mm.
Matter of fact,
Interesting.
31% of the mass shooters are veterans now.
Mm-hmm.
Believe that
They
or not,
experienced some brain damage.
our American heroes come back, and now they're turning the guns on us.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Wow.
Because they're not getting the treatment they need.
it's a
Yeah.
simple little stupid treatment. Like people think it's a mental health issue, like the PTSD, and I'm not saying they don't have PTSD. I'm not. I don't ever want to
Right.
say that. I don't want to discount
Right.
anybody's journey or drama, but it's a physical injury that never got treated. And so I think it festers in that brain until they can't take it anymore, and then eventually
Mm-hmm.
it's going to start to shut that area down. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what
And
happened to me. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we there are questions about SSRIs. So if they come back and they do have PTSD, depression, and a doctor just gives them a pill to cover it up,
Yep.
there's obviously connections with mass shootings and regular use of SSRIs. But what you're saying is that there's a whole other aspect to this that is not being discussed at
Huge.
all.
If you go back on my TikTok page, I'm wearing a
Mm-hmm.
red Team USA shirt. If you go look at the video, it's
Mm-hmm.
one man with a chamber. First of all, I looked disheveled, so I apologize. I was just walking and talking, and it was bad angles and everything. So I just
I follow you on there.
take that for
I
what it's
follow you on
worth.
there. Yeah,
So
I follow you.
there was a mass shooting. A guy went to shoot up the NFL office in New York that day. Somehow the the internet made me out to be the CTE guru. And I'm really not. I'm just a guy going through my journey and helping people, but I'm not the guru. I don't even know what that really is. But this guy, he did a mass shooting in New York. He tried to shoot up the NFL office. He's left a CTE suicide note. He said he's sure he has it, but he never played pro football. So people are like, he don't really have it. And so the report came out. He actually had it after they killed him, of course, and then they checked his brain and he had it. So on that day, my social media is going crazy because I do a lot of posting about this stuff.
Right.
And my phone started ringing. So I made a video. On that video, I'm just telling people, look, I know we're watching our athletes, do these things. I said, but this is not the population I fear the most. So the population I fear is our military veterans. They're coming back with this condition. They're not getting treatment. And I said, please go back and fact check me, because I'm just not throwing random words out. I said, there is going to be a wave of veteran mass shootings coming. I said, we have to get ahead of this thing. And
Right.
so I put that video out. The next day I had court. I spoke to the judge about it. And then on the courthouse steps after that, I made the same little speech to few people that was there. And the very next week, a guy went up into a bar in Anaconda, Montana, and he killed 4 people, one of our veterans, and he ran off in the woods like the movie Rambo. He was hiding in the woods for like a week. As they caught him, there was another active military guy. He went up to the military base and he killed. I don't know if he didn't kill people. He shot a few people. I don't think anybody died, but he shot a few people. And then 2 weeks after that, which is about a month ago now, with another veteran go up to a Mormon church in Minnesota. He burned up one part of the church and he went to the other side and started shooting. But I'm just saying, this is something that we have to do something about. We have to get ahead of this thing.
So I want to circle back to your foundation. So you, going all the way back, you're an athlete, you're accumulating injuries, you start experiencing the CTE symptoms and the disease, then you discover hyperbaric oxygen treatments, you start doing that. And now you've created this foundation to make this treatment accessible to others and to raise awareness. And that's one of the things that we love to talk about here on this show is how someone has gone through something traumatic or tragic or a chronic health issue and have found whatever it is that works for them to whatever degree overcome this issue. But then they take the experience and they turn it around to be able to give back to humanity with what they've learned and the experience they've had. So tell us more specifically about the foundation itself, because I think this is really important, and we want to get the word out about what it is that you are doing to help others and how to turn your experience into a gift for someone else.
Well, that's exactly what it is. And really, I'm not doing it for one person. I'm doing it for humanity at this point. Like, if I don't do it, who's going to do it? No one's talking about it.
No.
And the more you bring it out to light, the more they sweep it under the carpet. And so, like, I'm really hoping this is a ground roots thing, that people just keep talking and people keep sharing.
So Will, is there already a treatment center that you've started or open, or like, is there already one in California where you live?
No, actually, what I plan on doing is I want to open in the Midwest.
Okay.
And I chose the Midwest because like, for example, what I can buy the building for there is what I'll pay 1 year of rent from in California. So it's a huge difference. And so my goal is to put this as it's a foundation out. We're official, but once I'm gone and I leave this place, I want it to still be up and running. So we want to have our own building, our own facilities, have our own like donators and things like that. Like I've rejected all private money so far, because if I take money, then now I got to charge people to come here.
Yeah.
And so what I've been doing right now, I have relationships with people around the country. So I've been able to shuffle people to certain places to get free treatment. But now what I'm doing different is opening my own facility. So now I don't have to shuffle people anymore. Now they can just come to me. Whether you need 1 day or if you need 30 days, we want to be able to take care of that for you.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
That's incredible. What is your, like, where are you at in the timeline of turning the idea into the thing? Are you in construction phase or where are you at?
Part of it's already been done. Like I said, I've been doing this for a while now. This didn't just start here today. So, but on the construction side, like, we're waiting on hopefully more donations to come in. We have a crowdfunding out there, which is actually moving so slow. It's really heartbreaking, but it's moving very slow. Yeah.
Sure.
But now that the foundation's official, hopefully we'll be able to start taking donations from bigger sources. But like I said, the number one thing is like I just can't take the private money because I just don't want to put a price on this thing because it's not what we need here.
In your dream, what is your goal of how many people you would like to be able to sponsor to experience these treatments? Like, essentially, because that's essentially what it is like, I assume there's going to be a vetting process or something, but then they're going to come in and be able to receive this incredibly life-changing care at no cost to them. Like, how big do you want this to be? How many patients a month are you hoping to be able to support?
Well, the reason I wanted to open up right now, because I did buy that little lake house during COVID, and it's just sitting there. I'm back in Los Angeles right now. Problem with that is I have 3 bedrooms, 2 bath. If you need 60 days or 30 days of treatment, that means I can only treat 2 people
Yeah.
Mhm.
per month. And
Right.
that's not really what the goal is. And so I
Mhm.
want to open it in a bigger facility.
Mm-hmm.
So right now there's a company that wants to build a chamber for me that houses like 6 people. So if we
Nice.
get
That's
that one
great.
built, I can do 6 people per hour. If I'm open 8 hours a day, that's 48 people whose lives been touched. And that's what the goal is.
Oh,
So
Oh,
we can
beautiful.
treat 48, and that's if I only have one chamber. If I have
Yeah.
multiple, I want them when they
Right.
come get their therapy, when they go back, have a new life. That's what it's really about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Can you tell people how, if somebody wants to help,
Mm-hmm.
how can they
Yes.
help right now, and
Mm-hmm.
direct them to whatever website, or how they can make a donation?
Oh, I'll tell you, I'm glad you said that. I have this
Mhm.
right here. Hold on one second
Mm-hmm.
here.
And we will
I
include
actually,
all of your stuff in the show description as well.
Mhm.
Once this episode is released, we will also include all of your handles and everything.
this is actually this is for the, yeah. So this is for
Perfect.
the
Scott.
crowdfunding.
So you
Perfect.
got a GoFundMe. There's a QR code. Okay,
Perfect.
cool.
Yeah.
We will.
Yeah, and if there's a link,
And
we'll get that from you, and we'll put it in the show notes for people.
yeah, but also on the other
Mhm.
side, just so everybody understands,
Yeah.
I changed the name on it. Let me see. Here we go. If you can see that.
What does that say?
American
American.
Post-Concussion Wellness Center.
Yes.
Wow.
So before it was called, it had my last name was Person Wellness Center or Person
Mhm.
CTE Wellness Center. And then I realized like most of the people who dealing with this are either, athletes or it's our veterans. And the one thing that
Mm.
bonded us is that connects us is the American flag. So I changed it to American Post,
I love that.
Yeah, and so
Yeah.
that's the difference. But so I changed my website, so my website will be up and going again pretty soon. We had to go have them change all the names and stuff. But yeah,
Mhm.
we're
Yes.
up and going. We're ready to go. We're waiting on the donations to come in. The crazy
Yeah.
part is if like the first 50,000 gets us our next chamber, you know,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
and then we could just open those doors. But like I said, my goal is just to keep it going. And
I love it.
I opened a treatment facility for kids years ago. It was the first of its kind, and it was kind of like, how do I put this? So the state opened me as a pilot program. And so once the other private providers saw how well my company was doing, most people started trying to clone my program. And
Mm.
so all these people were like, man, you got to sue them. Like, they can't do this. And I was like, listen, I can only house 9 youth. This service
Yeah.
needs to keep going. I need it.
Mm.
Like,
Expand.
we can't help. I can't help everybody. And so it's the same thing with this. I'm really hoping once the American people see what we're doing, and
Mhm.
all these other companies will start making these things more accessible. That's the real goal.
Well, thank you so much for sharing all this with us. This is
Mm-hmm.
all new to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad to know about, I'm glad to learn about CTE, but I'm especially glad to learn about this new therapy. I guess I don't know how new it is, but it's new to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's
And
been
we're
around
going to
since
do
the
everything we,
1800s.
oh,
I did
That's
not know
how.
that. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
However, the this is what was told to me, and I don't know how true it is not. It's hard for the pill companies to regulate this stuff and to sell it to us.
yes.
Oh, sure.
Yes.
So they'll give you 10, 20 pills, but they don't want you to get in this chamber.
Yeah.
But if you have a stroke or cancer or anything else, they'll put you in this chamber. If you get burns or bed sores, the hospitals
Burns
will
too.
put you in this chamber. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
what they keep trying to tell you is there's no studies. It's not true. Those studies are everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't find it on my own. I didn't create this, guys. I would love to take credit for it, but I really can't.
Mm.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to thank you. We both want to thank you for raising such awareness, because
Mhm.
I myself just learned so much today just from
Yeah.
listening to you, and even having my own son, loved one, having dealt with 3 concussions. This is making my mama bear instincts want to go get him this therapy. Yeah, so I just want to thank you for just
Yeah.
being a beacon of hope for these veterans and these football players, all these athletes that don't have to suffer alone,
Mhm.
and that we can
Yeah.
bring awareness to. So just
It's
thank
literally
you
all
so
of us.
much for taking
If
your
you
time.
if you walk this planet here at all and you were a kid here, like we got rough childhoods. We jumping off monkey bars and
Right.
swings and like
Trampolines with
nobody's.
no nets and no pads.
Yeah,
Just
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh
We're
yeah.
not, none of us are exempt to this thing.
Hmm.
None of
So
us are
true.
exempt.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
true.
By the way, how old is your son?
He's 15. He just
He's
turned
15.
15.
Has
Mm-hmm.
it been any changes, any depression, sadness, and
No, thank God. All these three concussions have been within the last year. And
oh,
so I
okay.
haven't noticed anything. And I think one of them was worse than the other. I think the others were minor. Again, relatively speaking, the first one I think really, that's when he was like, blurry vision for a couple of days. But these last two, I feel like never no vomiting or throwing, anything like that or losing consciousness. But it's still, as a mother,
Yeah.
right? It's concerning, and
Yeah,
Mhm.
you want to protect them, right? At all. And
yeah.
I will say, not to get too personal, but he's going into wrestling now, and I'm like, okay, well, is this a less of a chance for him to get a concussion? He can probably still get a concussion with wrestling,
Well,
you know.
it's not even just the concussion. It's the those are the shots to the head that make the brain
Shots
just
to the
shake.
head.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
Hmm.
and so, yeah, but
yeah,
at the same time, it's like you got to let him when he loves playing and he loves being active. It is good for him, like the discipline. It's good for him, but at the same time, you do take that risk.
There's risk.
There's risk, and so I just pray that God protect him, keep him healthy. That's, as a mother,
yeah.
that's all I can do.
Before we wrap up, is there any words of wisdom, advice, or
Mhm.
thoughts that you'd like to offer? If somebody out there is like, right now, what you're saying is ringing a bell, and they're like, wow, I never thought about that. I hadn't
Mhm.
considered that. I've got these weird mystery symptoms. What's the first step that they can take to begin looking into this for themselves?
Well, first of all, find my TikTok channel. That'll be number one thing.
Hmm.
We can
Because
include that.
Okay.
because number one thing is like most of the athletes, veterans, they're not seeing it on themselves.
Uh,
And
Mhm.
then
Mhm.
if all your people are coming back and they tell you have PTSD, you probably think you just have PTSD.
uh-huh.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
and it's fine to get that thing, and it really doesn't matter as long as you just get the treatment that you need, which is the
Mhm.
hyperbaric. But
Yeah.
you find me, I'll help you. Kind of, I call it like CTE proof in your life a little bit because once you have it, there's
Yeah.
certain things that you can do to it'll help keep life manageable.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's the whole
Good.
thing is to find the manageable stuff and to
Yeah.
help your person through whether it's a soldier or athlete, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But there's a
Yeah.
whole bunch of potholes waiting on them to come down.
Yeah.
Once some symptoms kick in, trust me, I bought 4 cars during COVID for some stupid reason. Why would I
Gee,
do that? 4 cars,
right?
like I had to
Isn't
have
that
it. Someone
crazy?
bring me, I had to have this car. I got to have it. Why do I need it? I don't know. But you got to, not you just can't
Yeah.
think clearly.
Weird
You're just
stuff like
making
that.
just poor decisions.
Poor
When you see your loved
impulsive.
ones, yeah, when you see you hear every person who takes their life or who commits murder,
Mhm.
their family or
Mhm.
the neighbor always says what? They're such a nice guy. Like I never saw
Mhm.
this coming. Or all of a sudden
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
they're acting out of character. If your loved
Mhm.
one's acting out of character and they were exposed to military stuff or sports or head injuries, just check into it.
Check
Mhm.
into it.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when
Yeah.
your doctor don't have answers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Before you take the 14 pills they're gonna hand you,
Yeah.
check
Mhm.
over here. Yeah.
And I think also this is true, what you've inspired in me, or just as a mother too, is to just also be your own advocate. Nobody's going to
Yeah.
stand up for you like you're going to stand up for you. And so just being your own advocate and saying, I'm not going to accept that, oh, I just need a pill and I'm going to be better. Like
Yeah.
be your own advocate to continue to fight for your life and for,
You have to.
yeah. So just thank you.
Even after I found help and I was doing better with the chamber, my doctor tried to talk me out of using the chamber. Like, what? Are you
Really?
crazy?
Yeah.
I was like, do you not know your office is less than a mile away from my house, and I would get lost coming here and going home. Like
Mm-hmm.
now
Mm-hmm.
I'm okay. I'm doing better. Like why would you? Yeah. So a lot of the old school doctors will talk you out of it. They'll say there's
Mm-hmm.
no
Wow.
proven. I'm your
Mm-hmm.
guinea pig. No one has more concussions than me. I raced for 9 years, 1 to 6 rides per day for 3 to 5
Mm-hmm.
days
Yeah.
per week for 9 years. So nobody has more than me. If I can wake up, I'm praying that everybody will. No, I'm
We're
just
going to
saying we already
include your
have.
contact information. We're going to put your GoFundMe link,
Mm-hmm.
your social media. We'll get all that
Okay.
stuff and put it all in the show notes so that
Yes.
anybody who's looking for you can find you there easily.
All right. I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
And to our
Oh, thank
listeners,
you.
if you guys have enjoyed this show, if this has struck something within you, or if it's made you think of somebody you know, please share this episode.
Please.
And then don't forget to go down and hit that little positive affirmation button down there for us. It's the best way to support this show. And we thank you all for being here. Thank you, Will, for joining us. It's been great.
Oh, you're very welcome.
Thank you so much.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.